Yo guys, welcome back to another video. We need to have a talk. Come on in, sit down, have a seat, get comfortable. We need to have a talk. The Tokyo CS just happened this past weekend, and I wanted to start doing a little series where I'm kind of just going over just a quick recap of the CS's, the championship regionals that go on over here in Japan. Unfortunately, we've had some landslide victories by Red Purple Law, so I don't know how interesting or insightful this series is actually going to be, but I just want to do a quick little video just going over like the top 16, looking at the leaders, looking at some of the matchups and stuff, and just talking about it a little bit. And yeah, that's it. Not going to be a long one. This is not like another like no, the main focus isn't supposed to be should we ban Red Purple Law, but it's going to come up in the video, so sorry. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just get started and let's jump right into it. Alright, so this is the top 16 breakdown of the Tokyo CS that just happened on June 15th. And as you can see, not much has changed from the past couple weeks. We have 10 Red Purple Laws up there at the top. This time we did have 2 NLs. We didn't even have an NL in the top 16 last week, so that was kind of interesting. And then we have 2 Luchis and 1 Kalgara and 1 Black Yellow Luffy there at the bottom, as you can see. So it was nice to see, like, I never thought like I'd say it, but it was nice to see like more yellow at the top, right? I know NL is a very polarizing leader. I have a love-hate relationship with NL myself. I love the character. I think the deck is pretty cool. It's fun to play, but you hate playing against it, right? But I mean, like, when it's one of the only leaders that can stand up against Law right now, it's nice that you see it in the top 16. And here's the thing: if you watched this CS, you saw how crazy some of those games were. The Kalgara game versus Red Purple Law was like, the Kalgara player didn't draw that great. It wasn't like a total train wreck or anything, but he didn't have the best starting hand. He kept just drawing into Nolans when he needed like literally any other card. He didn't get a lot of like optimal moves going on, and still almost kind of clutched it out there at the end. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't good enough. But then if you game, you might have witnessed what, as far as like as best as I can remember, I don't think I've ever seen. There was one I think Natsume on Red Zoro had like probably the worst draw ever, maybe tied with this NL player on stream on a CS. Like, I don't know, I think this was like OP4 or something, maybe even OP3. But yeah, it was crazy. So not only was it just dominated by Laws, like every non-Law player was just getting like the craziest, most terrible draw. The NL player did not see a single card of their top end in, like, I don't know, it had to have been like 6-7 turns maybe during that game. This is how bad it was. They saw 1 7-cost Linlin, and like, I guess that's kind of top end, but they did not see a single Katakuri, Yamato, or Ace, and they literally hit You Should Disappear into Beige as their last like life into last life. Like, still that, like, they were gonna lose even if they had like an extra 2 lives. It was crazy. It was really crazy. So disappointing to see. Like, the Aichi CS, the one that happened this past week, was a little bit more interesting because even though it was a bunch of Law mirrors, I mean, I guess even that Lucci player the Lucci player had a good starting hand and drew into some decent cards, but they kept milling all the cards that they really needed to draw into. So that was a little unfortunate, which is kind of crazy because Red Purple Law itself is a very like it's consistently powerful, but it has inconsistencies in the fact that there is no search and you're just relying off of the draw you get from like Queen and Reiju. But you do see that deck will brick a lot, or like, you know, they just draw into the wrong combo of cards and then it's not as powerful as it normally is, and sometimes you just get lucky, or they have like 6 Gordons and Raise Maxes and you swing like 9k for lethal and it just goes through and you're like, wow, that was amazing. And this did not happen. The Law players kept like high rolling, and then the non-Law player leaders kept like getting the worst possible like hands and draws and life and all that stuff. So really, really unfortunate. I just wanted to point that out, that it was kind of crazy if you saw that. But it is a point that I wanted to make because it made it like this was one of, just for me personally, one of the least enjoyable CSs I've ever seen in my life. And yes, it's can be interesting to watch a law mirror. It's not fun to watch, you know, literally law on stream every single game. But like even the law mirror this time wasn't even that interesting. And it's just like, man, there's something going on, right? There's something going on where it's like, it's just, if it was at least a little bit more competitive in the fact that like the other players just didn't get unlucky, I would at least be like, you know what, Red Purple Law is best deck in format, but it was still an interesting tournament to watch. But I couldn't even say that about this, which sucks because I know there were so many good players there at the Tokyo CS this past weekend, and like so many non-law players that I was actually rooting for. I had some friends there, people I knew, like acquaintances, friends, people that I don't know that I was rooting for. And yeah, it's just so unfortunate, man. It's just so unfortunate that this kind of thing happens. And then even when I'm like rooting for the NL player to win, like they just you know, they had that crazy horrible accident of a hand, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But my main point I'm trying to make here is it's not a very fun meta to watch. It's not a very fun tournament to watch. And you know, people, you can hate on Sakazuki mirrors all day, but at the end of the day, like for me, if it's only going to be 1 or 2 Saka mirrors, I can deal with that. If it's 3 or 4, I don't want to watch it. I'll tune that shit out, you know. But like I'd be like, I'll watch the finals or something if it's going to be a Saka mirror. And I watch all the matches obviously for the CSs. Like I look forward to it so much every weekend when they have these regionals in Japan. It's like such a special, fun little event for me, and I really look forward to it all the time. I love watching the streams and like talking with people. Noah always streams them, and it's fun like hanging out with them and stuff. But when it gets to the point where it's like everyone's just like, oh, like when you see the top 4 and it's all law and everyone just rolls their eyes like collectively as a community, that's bad, right? That's really bad. And then on top of that, when you actually have an underdog to root for and like shit just goes wrong, you're just like, man, this sucked. Like that was like I said, it was one of the least enjoyable CSs I've ever seen. And I don't want to harp on about that too much. It was cool. Calgara, I love Calgara, and I'm really glad they got into the top 16. I think it was really, really awesome. And you know, Black Yellow Luffy's still doing it too. Lucci is good. You know, Lucci's good. Another thing, Enel, people were counting Enel out, but I saw a ton of Enels at my flagship that I went to recently, and he's just like a easier, consistent leader to play than some of these other decks. And like it's fun, you know, as much as it sucks, like spamming 10 cost aces and like having such a like unkillable leader is fun, and it's a good deck, right? So I get it. But yeah, Enel is strong. So the meta is slowly shifting right now, where like it's obviously law at the top, but then now Enel has crept his way back up into like tier 1.5. So he's with Lucci and Black Yellow Luffy. It's probably like, I mean, just strength wise, Black Yellow Luffy, Lucci, Enel. But because of Black Yellow Luffy's kind of bad, worst matchup into Red Purple Law, it's probably Lucci, Black Yellow Luffy, Enel. Like if I just had to like line it up like that. And then you have all these outlier decks. Like you could see a Yamato get into top 16. You saw this Calgara. Like there are some outliers. Like we saw the Dofi, the Hancock last week. Dofi got to top 4, which is really awesome. Hancock got to top 16 last week, but just unfortunately lost. And yeah, so just here's the Tokyo CS, right? This was Aichi last weekend, where we had 11 Red Purple Law, so even one more than this weekend. 2 Black Yellow Luffy, 2 Lucci, and the 1 Giga Chad Hancock player. And just as a reminder, this was the World Finals with 11-2-2-1, 11-2-2-1, and well, hey, we got a 10-2-2-1-1. Okay, so a little bit different, right? But this is what happened right before Sakazuki got banned. Basically, the consensus right now is like, I mean, I think Law is probably gonna get banned. I do think people, if you guys are some of the people who have been commenting on my last videos, I really appreciate it. Some people have been throwing out some good ideas. I like the idea of kind of like eroding Law's leader effect, so that there has to be a character that he gets rid of in order to play out a character, right? Like, so it's not just like a free spam effect. I have some friends over here in Japan too that have been making good points of like, all we need to do, or like something that we could test so easily that Bandai like basically has to like physically do nothing about, so no reprinting, no erratas or anything, is just creating restrictions for what leaders can play what cards. Like, all you need to do is change the rule set so that it's like, you can no longer, as of this day, you can no longer include Black Maria in red purple Law decks. And like, that's like, I know for like locals and stuff, it's like a harder thing to check, but it's an easy thing to like keep on top of, you know. And then there are deck checks for any larger tournaments, like all the regionals, all the big 3-on-3s, they're deck checks. You're submitting your deck list. So you know, like at the local level, there might be some shenanigans for a little while, but it's such an obvious thing. If they're playing Black Maria, no one's going to really be able to get away with it. At least I don't see how they would be able to easily. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I don't think Law has to get banned. I think he very well could be getting banned. I don't think this is getting really bad. Like, this is getting really, really bad. I know Fusion World, Dragon Ball Fusion World is experiencing this kind of thing right now, the Top Coup format, and it's just like, I wouldn't mind if they did an emergency ban. Like, I know that really sucks for the people, because the thing is, we're in the string of these CS tournaments right now, and it's like, if there's a lot of money on the line, and I really get it. So I do kind of think it's going to be, and like, you know, not just the money, but like the prizing. People have spent so much time and effort, like, if they're playing Law, right? That's what I'm talking about, like learning the deck, learning the matchups. Imagine you grinded out like 100 hours of like Law mirrors and Law into the top other leaders, like just trying your very best. Like, these are all, gotta remember, most of these people are all people who have jobs and like families and shit like that too. So it's like, imagine grinding that hard and then Bandai is just like, hey, you can't use Law at the next CS. Like, I understand how that can be kind of rough. Just when we're in the middle of this. I think when wave 1 is over, Law is gone. Law is gone, or there's going to be some crazy bans coming in. But who knows, man? Like, if it is really, really, really this bad, then there might be like an even earlier ban or some kind of restriction coming into play. Just restricting Maria out of Law, I think, would be a great start. Getting rid of Gordon so that the cheaper raise max is available, I think, is a really good idea. Not letting Law use Maria at all, possibly not letting Law use Reiju, would probably be enough to nerf the deck, at least for now. That's kind of just putting a band-aid over it. But you know, if you don't want to get rid of the leader, I think there are some things they could try. This could be a good like learning experience for Bandai, because they already messed it up so bad by printing Black Maria. But yeah, that's this, right? This was the Tokyo World Finals, Aichi. You see the numbers don't lie, right? So what do you think is going to happen? I know I already asked this in the other one, and I don't want to repeat myself too much here. I do want to make these just like a weekly recap kind of thing. So as much as I can in the next one, the CS that's going on next weekend, I will try, or I believe it's next weekend, I will try my hardest to just do a recap, more of a thing. I did talk more about Red Purple Law in this one, but like I said I was going to. Unfortunately, he's just kind of he's so hot. That's that damn Law. He's so hot right now. He's the hot topic, right? And you can't talk about the tournament results and what the meta is and how enjoyable the game is without talking about him right now. And just from a personal standpoint, I'm playing in the meta. I'm going to, locals. I'm going to flagships. I'm going to shops and stuff, and it's not that great. Like, the leaders are fun. Carrot's really fun. Marco's cool. Kalgara is awesome. I'm playing Yamato again, but it's just like, man, Law is making it a lot less fun. It's just kind of, it's not ruining it. I don't want to like go as far to say it's like it's ruining it, but the meta kind of sucks right now. It's I don't even know if it's super enjoyable from like a really competitive standpoint, because there is a bit of RNG. Like, Law mirrors, there's tons of skill involved, yes, don't get me wrong, but there is more RNG involved than there were in like Osaka mirror. So I don't know. I'm like not super loving it, and I know a lot of my friends and a lot of really good players aren't either. And I'm not just trying to sit here and complain about Red Purple Law. I'm just trying to say that there are probably things that need to change very quickly, just to make it more enjoyable. I don't have all the answers, but this is just what I've seen, and this is the quick recap of the and obviously like Law 1. I know I didn't even say that, but so Law 1, the top 4 was all Law again. Went over, like I said, the games on stream were interesting, but unfortunately the non-Law players got kind of screwed over with their draws and just got a little unlucky, and just Law is really hard to beat. So yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this kind of recap video, if there's like a different kind of like weekly update kind of video you want to see me do, because I'd love to start trying out more of them. Or if this is too much, just me sitting here complaining, please let me know, and I'll try and change it or do my best not to just make this kind of video every time. But I did want to kind of just address Law one more time. I don't want to make this go on any longer than it needs to be. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.